Welcome to the 360 training tutorial, Building a Simple Course for Adding Assessments. In this tutorial, we will attach assessments to our course, including a final exam and a quiz. We will learn how to associate assessment item banks to our course via learning objectives and how to set up a learning objective for each assessment type. Here are the assessment item banks we created in the last tutorial. We have 4 item banks full of questions nested inside the main BSC demo bank. Now let's go to our course and create an assessment. We will begin with the final exam. If you are not already there, double-click the course route to bring up the course information. Learning objectives are the actual assessment objects in the course. They contain the assessment item bank or banks specific to that exam or quiz. Learning objectives are placed at specific locations in the course, relating to the content that the exam covers. Our final exam measures a student's mastery of learning objectives for the entire course, so we'll place the learning objectives for our final at this top level of the course. Click the Learning Objectives tab. Click the Add Learning Objective button. The Learning Objectives wizard displays. Associating an item bank to a course is a 4-step process. Step 1. Assign a name and a description. The name acts as a reminder of the assessment item bank to which it will attach. In this case, we have all the questions for our exam in a single item bank, so we'll call this BSC Demo Final Exam. Click Next. Step 2. Select Assessment Item Bank from the Learning Objective Type dropdown. Click Next. Step 3. Click the Add Assessment Item Bank button. In the Search field, type in a keyword related to the name of the assessment bank and click Search. Here is the group of assessment banks that we created earlier. Now, if we selected BSC Demo, our top-level bank that held all our other banks, our exam would pull from all the questions in all the nested assessment banks. In some cases, we might want to do that. However, in this case, we put all our exam questions in the Final Exam item bank, so we'll check the box next to BSC Demo Final Exam. We click Add Items. Then make sure we select Post Assessment in the Assessment Type dropdown. This is very important. This tag tells the course player that these questions belong in the exam at the end of the course, and nowhere else. When the course player looks for questions to put into this exam, it will only pick things marked as post-assessment. We click Next and are at Step 4, the summary page. Click Finish. Then click Save on the Learning Objectives tab. Now our final exam assessment bank is linked up with our course, but we still have to turn the final exam on. This will be covered in the next tutorial when we discuss the course configurations for assessments. Now we are going to associate our quiz banks and create learning objects for the quizzes. A quiz, or learning assessment, measures a student's mastery of learning objectives for that lesson only, so we will double-click the Lesson 1 content object. By placing the learning objective here, the quiz will show up after the last scene contained by this content object. Here, in the Summary tab, we check the box to enable quiz and click Save. This box must be checked for the quiz to appear in the course. Then we click the Learning Objectives tab. Click the Add Learning Objective button. The Learning Objectives wizard displays. This is the same 4-step process we went through when creating the learning objective for the final exam. We will name this learning objective BSC Demo Lesson 1 Quiz. Add that as a description and click Next. In Step 2, we will select Assessment Item Bank as before and click Next. In Step 3, click Add Assessment Item Bank and enter search parameters as before. Click the box next to BSC Demo Omelette Quiz, which contains questions for Lesson 1, Making an Omelette, and click Add Items. In the Assessment Type dropdown, select Quizzes. This lets the course player know that these questions belong only to a quiz and nowhere else. Click Next, then click Finish. Finally, click Save on the Learning Objectives tab. Now our Lesson 1 quiz has been enabled and has the questions in the BSC Demo Omelette Quiz Bank associated to it. Using the same procedure, we will enable quizzes and associate assessment item banks to them for the Lesson 2 and Lesson 3 content objects. Our course now contains 3 quizzes and a final exam. In our next tutorial, we will learn about course configuration templates and how to adjust them to control the assessment behavior for the assessments we just created. For now, the default course configuration template for our course is set up well enough for us to take a look at the assessments we created. To view a quiz, right-click the last scene in the lesson and select Preview. Click the next arrow. And here we see our lesson assessment screen with instructions to the student. Click Begin Lesson Assessment. And here are the questions we associated with this quiz. To take a look at the final exam, right-click the last scene in the course and select Preview. We click the next arrow to reach the end of our course. The final exam information screen displays. Click Begin Final Exam. And there are the questions we associated with the final. We have successfully added quizzes and a final exam to our course. Thank you for watching this 360 Training LCMS demonstration. We hope you found the information helpful. For more information on creating assessment items, quizzes, and final exams, see the LCMS Training Manual module Creating Assessments.